Okay, guys. Did you try part C as I asked you to? We're picking up in lesson 2.4, and we're working on problem 2. They gave us 2 points. My job to you was I asked you to end in slope-intercept form. What is slope-intercept form? Remind me. Okay, good. Y equals mx plus b. So that is our job of where to end on this problem. No matter which form we're going to, what was your first step? Finding the slope, yes? So, remember in an ordered pair, it's always xy, xy. So if we find slope, y minus y, what did you guys put on top? -5 minus -3. If I do -5 minus -3, on bottom I need to do 6 minus -2. Becomes -5 plus 3, which is -2, 6 plus 2, which is 8. What about -2/8? Reduces to be -1/4. Okay. To go to slope-intercept form, what did I recommend you do? Yeah, use that point slope form. So my recommendation, y minus, what y coordinate do you guys want to use? It doesn't matter to me. You guys use this one? Okay. So y minus -5 equals -1/4 times x minus 6. Okay. What do you know about y minus -5? -1/4 x. -1/4 times -6. Do you need the visual? -1/4 times -6. I'm going to do 6 over 1. I'm going to multiply across. The negative times the negative is a positive. 6 over 4. But I'm going to reduce that. They both divide by 2, so 3/2. Okay. Final step. If it's y plus 5, subtract 5. If we subtract 5 on the left, we subtract 5 on the right. Y equals -1/4 x. A couple different ways to do 3/2 minus 5. What are your brains thinking? Kendra? Okay, so thinking in terms of common denominator. So if I do 3/2 minus, if this is 5 over 1, right? Then how do you get a 1 to become a 2? You multiply by 2. If you multiply the 1 by 2, then you have to multiply the 5 by 2, which is 10 over 2. What's 3 over 2 minus 10 over 2? Minus what? 7 over 2? Because 3 minus 10 is -7, right? Another way, I don't know, did any of you guys go and think, okay, 3/2 is 1.5? If I have 1.5 and I take away 5, I'm going to be at -3.5 and then go back improper. I don't know. There's not just one way. Some of you probably went straight for the calculator here. You still have to get it back to an improper fraction, though. Okay, does that remind you of what we were doing yesterday? Point slope, slope-intercept were the two I heavily hit yesterday. Questions there? Okay. I know I'm on shortened time schedule. I'm going to try and go ahead and get through everything, so we may be skipping some questions here and there. Problem set 3 down here asks us to write things in, this is not supposed to say slope-intercept form. This is going to be standard form. Yeah, we can't write them in slope-intercept form. They're already in slope-intercept form. That would have been way too easy. What is standard form from above? Good. AX plus BY equals C. X plus Y equals C. I don't know how you remember it, but there's your standard form, remember. So X's and Y's are on one side, constants on the other side, and the big restriction is that A, B, and C, integers, meaning we're not going to see any fractions or decimals here. Now, as I look at example A, I see two things wrong with this problem. Can you identify either of those two things that are wrong, like why this isn't in standard form right now? Other than it's not, but what are two things we're going to have to, quote, fix? Okay, so first of all, there's a fraction in there, yes? Is 3/4 an integer? No, integers are positive and negative whole numbers. So that's not an option. So we're going to have to get rid of that fraction. And that doesn't just mean change it to a decimal. We'll want to get rid of that denominator. Which actually, let's go ahead and make that our first step. When you have a fraction, and we want to get rid of the fraction, I still want everything to be whole numbers. So the easiest thing I can tell you to do is multiply by the denominator. What is my denominator here? 4. Now, when I say multiplying by the denominator, what am I multiplying by? Both sides, right? Like everything gets multiplied by 4. So the left gets multiplied by 4. The right gets multiplied by 4. So I'm going to write it out for a moment. We're going to have 4 times y, and we're also going to have to do 4 times 3/4 x minus 5. Now, what is 4 times y going to be? 4y. That's the easy part, right? On the right, what do I have to do with that 4? We're going to have to distribute. So, 4 times 3/4 x. Make it 4 over 1. The 4's cancel. And that's 3x. Minus 4 times 5, 20. Okay, one problem solved. I no longer have a fraction. What's the other problem? Why is this not in standard form yet? Yet being the key word here. Yet. Kendra? Okay, yeah. We need AX plus BY. And keep in mind, when we say plus, it could also be minus. We need AX and BY together. Right now, they're not together. So, I already have the 4y over here. How could I move the 3x to join it? If it's a positive 3x, let's subtract 3x. If I subtract 3x on one side, subtract 3x on the other side. So what is 4y minus 3x? Okay, it's 4y minus 3x. Now, if we're trying to get it in the form of ax plus by, bless you, equals c, then can we flip the order there? If we flip the order and put the 3x first, it's negative 3x, then plus 4y equals what? Negative 20. Now, gosh, I don't remember. I don't think this book or Math Excel goes by this rule. Occasionally when talking about AX plus BY, when I first learned standard form, I was also told that the A term always had to be positive. meaning I couldn't have a negative 3x to start this problem. I don't think that's an issue in Math Excel. I don't think so, but I don't remember for sure. So, what I'm going to say, I'm happy with this answer, but I'm also going to say, or, if I don't want that negative on the 3x, how do I change that? Multiply everybody by a negative, right, negative 1. Or you could say divide everybody by negative 1. I don't care. So if we multiply or divide everybody by negative 1, this now becomes positive 3x minus 4y equals positive 20. I am accepting of either answer there. Okay, let's do B and then we'll flip to the back side. Okay, what problems do you see on part B? Carter?
Decimals.
Decimals. How many decimal spots are there? 1, yes? And what is that one decimal spot called?
Tenths place.
The tenths place. Okay, that's a good helpful hint. It's a tenths place. So what do I do to get rid of one decimal point?
Multiply it by 10.
Multiply by 10. So let me do a what if. What if there were 2 decimal places?
Multiply it by 100.
100, right? What if there's 3 decimal places?
1,000.
Okay, so you get the idea that if it's a tenths, you multiply it by 10. If it's a hundredths place, you multiply it by 100. If it's a thousandths place, you multiply it by 1,000. Because remember, multiplying by 10 is going to move my decimal point 1 spot to the right. So, multiply both sides by 10. 10 times y is 10y. 10 times 9.1x. 91x. Plus 3.6 times 10. 36. Easy enough. Am I there?
No.
No? What do I need to do to get there?
Give the X and Y on the same side.
Okay, I want x and y together. I already have a y by itself, so how do I move the x? Since it's a positive 91x, I'm going to subtract 91x. You can, if you want, write 10y minus 91x to begin with. I'm going to try and be ahead of the game. I'm going to put my x out front, which is what kind of x? Negative 91x plus 10y equals 36. Now do I have ax plus by equals c? Yes. This could be a final answer, or what's another final answer?
91x minus 1.
Okay, change every sign, yes? So 91x minus 10y equals what kind of 36? Okay. I think you guys get the gist of it. I know I'm running short on time compared to what I'd hoped to have, so let's look at the back side. Got 2 more topics yet. This one is graphing equations using x and y intercepts. So we worked the other day with graphing using slope intercepts, right? Y equals mx plus b. Now we're graphing using x and y intercepts. What do I mean by the word x and y intercepts? Kendra?
Where the line crosses through 0 on the x or y.
Okay, so yeah, essentially an x-intercept is where does the line cross the x-axis? Y-intercept, where does the line cross the y-axis? Okay, now the key is when you cross an axis, there has to be what number involved when you cross an axis? There is a 0. Okay, and so anytime you're asked to find intercepts, think zeros. we're going to use zeros. So that's always like what I try and pull together for you is to use zeros. So in order to find the x-intercept happens when y is what? 0. So in order to find our x-intercept, we'll put 0 in for y. So then how are we going to find the y-intercept? Put 0 in for x. Okay, so we'll take turns doing that. So when you talk about graphing using x and y intercepts, my reminder to you is always going to be to use your zeros. So, if we start with this first one, 3x plus 5y. What am I putting in for y? 0. Can you do some basic math there? What do you know about 5 times 0? It's 0. So then I'm left with the equation 3x equals 15. If 3x equals 15, then what? Divide by 3 and x is 5. So what is the ordered pair that represents this? 5, 0, because x is 5, and what did I use for y? 0. So that is, I mean, if I ask you what is the x-intercept, honestly, I'm fine if you say it's x equals 5. However, Math Excel is probably going to want an ordered pair. So what is the ordered pair for the x-intercept? 5, 0. How do I find the y-intercept? Now we want to get rid of x. Okay, so when you're finding y, you're going to get rid of x. So this time we're going to do 3 times 0 plus 5y equals 15. So basically drop the x part out, right? 3 times 0 is 0. 5y equals 15. If 5y equals 15, divide by 5 and y is 3. Question?
Is it just a coincidence that it was like 5y is x and 3x is like,
Yes.
okay.
It's just because they happen to divide by opposite numbers.
Yeah.
Okay? That wouldn't have to be the case. Okay, so y equals 3 means my y-intercept is the ordered pair 0, 3. Now, I'm just going to sketch a graph here. And this only involves positives, so I'm just going to sketch first quadrant. Where's an x-intercept of 5? At 5, 0. 5 right on the x-axis. Where is a y-intercept of 3? 3 on the y-axis, so that means we're going to go up 3. Can 2 dots form a line? Certainly can. Those 2 dots form my line. Okay. Real quick, let's see. I'm going to jump over to C because I want to bust Carter's myth here. Because if I go with B, you're still going to have that myth. Okay? So I'm going to go over to C to bust his myth. Okay, on C. How do I find the x-intercept? Make y 0. So 3x plus 4 times 0 equals, notice it's a negative 6. 4 times 0 is 0. That leaves me with 3x equals negative 6, and so x is negative 2. As an ordered pair, that is negative 2, 0. Because I found x to be negative 2, and I have a y-intercept of, or I had put in 0 for y. How do I find my other intercept? Put 0 in for whichever one you haven't already done. So, 3 times 0 plus 4y equals negative 6. So 3 times 0 is gone. 4y equals negative 6. What do we have to do here? Divide by 4. Now, okay, negative 6 divided by 4. Okay, I wrote negative 6 fourths, but yes, go another step. 6 fourths reduces to 3 over 2, so negative 3 halves. As an ordered pair, 0 was x, negative 3 halves was y. Which for graphing purposes, negative 3 halves is what? 1.5? Okay, I have to be able to go left and down. So now, I really just need the third quadrant. An x-axis or x-intercept of negative 2 means on the x-axis I go where? To left. A y-intercept of negative 3 halves means on the y-axis I'm going to go down. Down 3 halves is going down 1.5. Oops. Didn't exactly make it through my dot, but it's alright. Okay, guys. I don't know why intercepts, when I ask you guys, a day from now to graph using intercepts, it'll be one of those things we tend to forget. I'm not sure why, because it's really easy graphing. You put the zeros in, which makes easy math, right? Using zeros is always easy math, and then you graph it. Now, I've got about 5 minutes. I at least need to touch on the whole parallel perpendicular thing, because you will be asked to write equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. Hello, that still comes up in pre-calc and calculus. You've been doing it since at least Algebra 1. So, let's work on this. First of all, the directions ask us to write the equation in slope-intercept form. What is slope-intercept form? Again, y equals mx plus b. So that means when I get done with a problem, it's going to look like y equals mx plus b. Now, in A, it's the line parallel. So flip back to the front page if you need to. Parallel lines have what? The same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. So if you know the parallel line, you know the slope of one line, you know the slope of the parallel line. Do we know the slope of the given line? Yes. Y equals 6x minus 2. What is the slope? 6, yes? Can we agree the slope is 6? So what is my parallel line going to have as a slope? 6. So we're going to use a slope of 6. Now, before you get any crazy ideas, this minus 2 doesn't even exist. Doesn't matter. Because all I need to know is the slope. So I have a slope. What else am I given? A point. A point, 1, -3, those are x and y values. What form did I have you starting off with on the front that then led us down into slope-intercept? Point slope. Can we use that same technique? Same exact thing we did on the front side. So, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus negative 3 equals 6 times x minus 1. What do you know about minus negative 3? That's y plus 3. 6 times x minus 1. You're going to distribute, and that is 6x minus 6. Final step, if it's y plus 3, we need to subtract 3. And so y equals 6x minus 9. Okay. I would have loved to have gotten one more example in, but before you close up shop, notice the next problem. Perpendicular. You remember? Opposite, reciprocal. So, real quick, what is the given slope? The given slope is negative 4. Is that the slope I'm going to use? No. We need to find the perpendicular slope. What is the opposite reciprocal of negative 4? Positive 1 over 4. Yes? Because what is 4 as a fraction? 4 over 1. So it's going to be positive 1/4. So we're going to use that slope and 8/5. Perfect timing. I wanted to get bare minimum there. Okay? Do the homework for tomorrow. We can talk more parallel perpendicular if we need to. Forgot to write up there, I am tentatively planning quiz Friday still. Okay? I am going to finish writing this out. Y minus 5 is 1/4 times x minus 8. Y minus 5 is 1/4 x minus 2. Add 5. Y equals 1/4 x plus 3. Homework is lesson 2.4 in Math Excel.